Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here. We got some big news. The Washington Commanders have named Ryan Kerrigan their new assistant defensive line coach. So we're going to talk about that and why I think it's a great move, and we'll also be talking about the Kam Curl injury and if he will play week 1. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Also hit that like button. Really helps out the channel. Now let's get right into it. And sorry for getting the video out late, was on a road trip, so just got back making this video. So I think this, Adam Schefter said right here, Commanders named their former standout Ryan Kerrigan as their new assistant defensive line coach. So I love this move. I really do. I mean, of course, we know Ryan Kerrigan played here, for the Redskins and then the Washington football team his whole career, and was kind of a mentor to Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and the interior guys as well, as one of the veteran leaders in that locker room and a really good player for them. And those players looked at him as kind of a legend. And now him coming back, a lot of them have been already responding to Kerrigan's coaching and his tips in that last half of training camp and, things like that. So I was kind of a little surprised that he did it just because, he just retired and, it's a lot of work, but it looks like he just wants to be in that football grind. And I think I have a video, I'll play you guys a video of him talking at the press conference, but he wants to continue to stay in the game. And I think this is a really good move because I really think last year Montez Sweat and Chase Young needed kind of a Ryan Kerrigan type player in that room to help him out. And I think Kerrigan, he's going to be a coach, but he's also kind of just going to be, he's still going to be a little bit of a player to some of those guys because he played with all of those guys except for, the main guys, except for Fidel Mathis. So, I'm, excited to see how he can develop this line. I think, Jeff, so I still can't pronounce his last name, but Jeff Z and Ryan Kerrigan is so much better than just Sam Mills and Jeff Z. So I think this is a good move for the Commanders. I like that they're even though they're hiring someone from who has a contact to them, I like that they're being a little bit more aggressive, or not even aggressive, just they're doing something a little bit different. And I think Kerrigan, he's a young guy, but I think he's going to do a really good job for the Commanders as a defensive line coach or assistant defensive line coach. And if he likes it, if he does well, maybe he'll go up to, defensive line coach. I couldn't see him be a defensive coordinator. Just that's even more work and more stress. But if that happened, it would be down, a few years down the line. But overall, things is a really good move by the Commanders. I bet you it's a 1-year contract, so we'll see what he's, what he wants to do after this year, because they kind of gave him a couple weeks to, try it out, and then he liked it, and now he's gonna, now he's gonna have the job. But I assume it's like a, 1-year thing. If he doesn't like it, he'll just move on. So I'll show you guys the, press conference clip. So here's Ryan Kerrigan during the press conference from today when, they officially announced that he's going to be the assistant defensive line coach. So I'll play that for you guys real quick. We'll talk about it, and then I'll talk about Kam Curl and his injury.
A little bit, yeah, but it's cool. It's been fun 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it's been, and so yeah, it's exciting.
What have you learned during those 4 or 5 weeks, and kind of what led you to say, hey, I do end up wanting to do this?
Just still being involved in football, being in the competition aspect of it is you can't replace that. You can't replicate that outside of coaching and playing. And so it's been it's definitely that's definitely been the biggest thing for me, is just still having that competitive aspect, that competitive side of it fueled.
Pass criticized before by Ron. To you, what does good pass rush discipline look like, pass lane discipline, and how do you instill that in these guys so they stop having that criticism?
The mantra for rushing is one we've used for a few years, and I think that's pivotal. You don't want guys to rush cautiously, but you want them to be aware. That's the big thing. You got to have a feel. You got to be aware of where the quarterback is. You just got to have that feel. That has to be at the forefront of your mind when you're rushing, because you can't, if you're a defensive end, you can't turn it at 12 yards and expect the quarterback to just be sitting there. That's going to create a massive B-gap window. So, that's something we're definitely going to emphasize and work on so that we can get better pressure on quarterbacks.
Okay, so that was the press conference from Ryan Kerrigan. Some insightful things right there, and I think it's going to be a lot of work for him, but that's not really going to be an adjustment. It's just the type of work that he's doing is a little bit of an adjustment. But he's been quietly doing it the last couple of weeks, and I assume he did partly did that in his last couple of years in the league as well. So, really happy about this Ryan Kerrigan move. I'm happy they did something a little bit different outside of the box. So, Kam Curl update. So, John Keim, shout out John Keim, said this right here. Kam Curl has a small cast on his right thumb / wrist. Had surgery. He said he's not sure when the cast will come off. Said the incision needs to heal. Certainly not ruled out for Sunday. Said he wants to play every game. Not sure yet if plays, if they'd use a padded cast. Curl said he hurt his right thumb during the Chiefs preseason game. So unfortunate injury. One of the more important players on the Commanders, especially on that defense, is a very solid player for them, and it would be unfortunate if he was out because I don't love the depth at the safety position. I love the talent there. At least, we'll see. Derek Forrest, I feel like, is more ready than, Percy Butler, and especially at strong safety. That if Kam Curl's out, it'll be Derek Forrest getting most of the snaps, in my opinion. So hopefully Curl's able to play because he's really important to that defense, and then you're going to have to be playing Derek Forrest, and the next man up is Percy Butler. I don't know. I think it's kind of a 50-50 if he plays. Who knows? On Wednesday, though, we'll get a much better sense if he practices or not. Then, we'll see. And then I think he can have some type of cast, like Keim said, but that's just much harder to make interceptions. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy just a chill video. Sorry for it being late. Thanks for watching, and peace.